You will not live forever, at least not in the way you think. One day your heart will beat for the last time, and everything you built, everything you chased will no longer matter. The money, the success, the applause of the world, none of it will go with you. But your soul will continue. The question is, where? Most people live as if this life is all they have, as if the clock will never stop ticking. They chase dreams that disappear, they build kingdoms that crumble, and they fill their hearts with things that can never satisfy. But deep down, they know something is missing. You know it too. That emptiness you feel at night, the questions that keep you awake. What happens after this? What is the purpose of it all? There is an answer, and it's not found in fame or fortune. It's not found in chasing temporary pleasures. It's found in the one thing that lasts forever: your relationship with God. You see, your body may grow weak, but your soul is eternal. And where your soul goes depends on the choice you make today. God is calling you, not tomorrow, not when life gets easier, but now, because tomorrow is not promised. You don't know how much time you have left, but you do have this moment, right now, to choose life, real life, eternal life, not the empty existence this world offers, but a life filled with meaning, peace, and a love so deep it changes everything. You were created for more than just surviving day to day. You were created for eternity, and the only way to truly live forever is to surrender your life to the one who gave it to you. Will you answer that call? Life on earth is temporary, but the soul is eternal. From the moment we take our first breath, the clock begins to tick. Every second that passes is a second we can never get back. We grow, we learn, we experience joy, pain, success, and failure. Yet, no matter how much we achieve or how far we go, the reality remains: our time here is limited. People often live as if they will never die, chasing dreams, accumulating wealth, and seeking pleasure as if these things will last forever. But the truth is, nothing in this world is permanent. Everything we build, everything we hold dear will one day fade away. Look around at history. Great empires have risen and fallen. Kings and rulers who once commanded vast armies now lie forgotten in the dust. The wealthiest individuals, the most brilliant minds, the most celebrated figures, all of them met the same fate. Their bodies grew weak, their strength failed, and eventually their time came to an end. This is the destiny of every human being. No matter how powerful, successful, or influential someone is, they cannot escape the reality of mortality. We spend so much of our lives focusing on the temporary. We work hard to achieve financial stability, to gain recognition, to create a comfortable life. We worry about our future, our careers, our reputations. We pour our energy into things that, in the grand scheme of eternity, mean very little. We are so consumed with what is happening here and now that we rarely stop to think about what happens after. But the truth is, no matter how much we accumulate, no matter how much we accomplish, we cannot take anything with us when we leave this world. People often fear death because it represents the unknown. They avoid thinking about it, pushing it to the back of their minds as if ignoring it will somehow make it disappear. But whether we acknowledge it or not, death is inevitable. It is not a matter of if, but when. Some live long lives while others are taken too soon. Some pass away peacefully while others leave suddenly, without warning. We do not control the timing or circumstances of our departure. What we do control is how we live in the time we are given. There are moments in life that force us to confront our own mortality. The loss of a loved one, a sudden illness, a close brush with death. These experiences shake us, reminding us of how fragile life truly is. In those moments, all the things we once thought were important suddenly seem insignificant. The pursuit of wealth, status, and material possessions loses its grip on us. What remains is the deeper question: what happens next? The world offers many answers. Some believe that life simply ends, that there is nothing beyond what we see. Others believe in reincarnation, that we return in another form based on how we lived. Still, others hold on to the hope of an afterlife, a place where the soul continues beyond the limits of the physical body. But belief does not change reality. What is true remains true, whether we accept it or not. Science can explain many things about life, but it cannot explain what happens after death. It can measure brain activity, heartbeat, and bodily functions, but it cannot touch the soul. The soul is something deeper, something beyond human understanding. It is the essence of who we are, the part of us that loves, dreams, hopes, and believes. It is the part that longs for something more, something beyond this world. There is an undeniable longing within every human being for something eternal. We may not always recognize it, but it is there. It is why we seek meaning in our lives, why we search for purpose, why we yearn for something greater than ourselves. It is why we fear being forgotten, why we try to leave a legacy, why we desire to be remembered. Deep down, we know that we were not created for temporary existence. We were created for something far greater. Throughout history, people have tried to find ways to extend their lives. Ancient rulers sought the elixir of life, hoping to escape death. Scientists today explore advancements in medicine, hoping to prolong human lifespan. Some even dream of technological solutions, imagining a future where consciousness can be preserved beyond the body. Yet, despite all these efforts, no one has found a way to escape the inevitable. Death comes for all, no matter how advanced our knowledge becomes. If life is temporary, then what truly matters? What should we be focusing on if everything we build in this world will one day disappear? It is a question that many ignore until it is too late. We spend our days chasing things that do not last, while neglecting the one thing that does, our soul. The soul does not age, does not weaken, and does not fade away like the body. It is the only part of us that will exist beyond this life. Some people live as if they will never die, while others live in constant fear of death. Neither extreme is healthy. The key is to recognize the truth and live accordingly, to accept that life is temporary, but also to understand that the soul is eternal, to live not just for today, but for what comes after, to invest in things that have lasting value rather than those that will disappear like dust in the wind. Relationships, love, kindness, faith. These are the things that hold eternal significance. When everything else is stripped away, these are the things that remain. No one on their deathbed regrets not making more money or working longer hours. They regret the time not spent with loved ones, the words left unsaid, the opportunities missed to make a difference. If the soul is eternal, then the choices we make now have consequences beyond this life. The way we live, the way we treat others, the way we align our hearts with truth, all of these things matter. Life is not just about existing for a few decades and then fading away. It is about preparing for something greater, something beyond what we can see. Every day is a reminder that time is passing. Every sunrise and sunset brings us closer to the moment when our time here will be over. The question is not whether we will leave this world, but what will happen when we do. It is a question worth asking, a reality worth considering, because the answer determines everything. Chasing worldly success will never fill the void inside. Many people believe that if they could just achieve a little more, earn a little more, or gain a little more recognition, they would finally be happy. They set goals, push themselves harder, and sacrifice their time, relationships, and even their health in pursuit of something they believe will complete them. Yet, time and time again, they find that the moment they reach what they once thought would bring them fulfillment, the satisfaction is temporary. It fades, and a new goal takes its place, continuing an endless cycle of chasing after something that always seems just out of reach. Society constantly reinforces the idea that success is the key to happiness. From a young age, people are taught that their worth is measured by their achievements. They are encouraged to work harder, to climb higher, to do whatever it takes to get ahead. Schools reward high grades, businesses celebrate record-breaking profits, and social media glorifies those who appear to have it all. People look up to celebrities, athletes, and billionaires, believing that if they could just have their lifestyle, they would finally be content. Yet, behind the scenes, many of the very people who seem to have it all struggle with deep dissatisfaction, loneliness, and even depression. The same individuals who are admired for their success often admit that their accomplishments have not brought them the peace they had hoped for. The pursuit of success can become an obsession. People dedicate their entire lives to their careers, spending long hours at work, constantly striving for the next promotion, the next business deal, or the next big breakthrough. They tell themselves that once they reach a certain level of success, they will slow down and enjoy life. But when they get there, they find that it is not enough. The definition of success shifts, and they set new goals, thinking that maybe just a little more will bring them the happiness they crave. Money is often seen as the ultimate measure of success. People believe that financial security will remove all their worries and allow them to live a life of freedom. They chase wealth, believing that once they have enough, they will feel safe, satisfied, and complete. But how much is enough? The richest people in the world continue to work tirelessly to earn even more, proving that money alone does not bring lasting peace. Some of the wealthiest individuals in history have openly admitted that their fortunes did not bring them the fulfillment they expected. They have the ability to buy anything they want, travel anywhere in the world, and experience the finest luxuries, yet they often struggle with emptiness. Fame and recognition are also illusions of fulfillment. Many people crave attention and validation from others, believing that being admired and respected will give their lives meaning. Social media has amplified this desire, with millions of people chasing likes, followers, and online influence. They present carefully curated versions of their lives, hoping to gain approval from strangers. Yet, even those who achieve massive popularity often find themselves feeling isolated and misunderstood. They live under the pressure of maintaining their image, constantly seeking external validation to fill the void inside. The applause of the world is temporary, and the moment it fades, many are left feeling more empty than before. Power and status are yet another form of worldly success that fails to satisfy. People fight to climb the social and professional ladder, believing that if they can just reach the top, they will finally be fulfilled. They seek authority, influence, and control, thinking that these things will make them feel important and secure. But power comes with its own burdens. Constant competition, fear of losing it, and the realization that it does not bring true peace. Those who reach the highest levels of leadership, whether in business, politics, or entertainment, often discover that the weight of power is far greater than they imagined. It does not bring the lasting joy they had hoped for. Material possessions offer only fleeting satisfaction. Many people believe that owning luxury cars, designer clothes, large homes, and the latest technology will make them happy. They spend years accumulating things, thinking that each new purchase will finally complete them. But the excitement of a new possession wears off quickly, and soon they are looking for the next thing to buy. No matter how much they own, there is always something more to desire. The cycle never ends, because material wealth was never designed to fill the deepest needs of the human heart. Even personal achievements, though valuable, do not bring the kind of fulfillment that lasts. People set goals in sports, academics, and creative fields, working tirelessly to master their craft. When they achieve success, they may feel a moment of pride and accomplishment, but eventually the feeling fades, and they are left searching for the next challenge. No matter how many awards they win or how many records they break, the sense of completion they seek remains just beyond their grasp. Relationships can also be an area where people search for fulfillment, hoping that another person will make them feel whole. They look for love, believing that finding the right partner will fill the void in their heart. While relationships are an important and meaningful part of life, no human being can provide the deep, unshakable sense of purpose and identity that people long for. When people place the expectation of fulfillment on another person, they are often left disappointed, realizing that even the best relationships have limitations. Many people spend their entire lives chasing worldly success, only to reach the end of their journey and realize that they were running after the wrong things. They look back with regret, realizing that the things they thought would matter most turned out to be meaningless. They sacrificed time with their families, abandoned their values, and ignored their inner calling, all for achievements that did not bring them the peace they had hoped for. History is filled with stories of people who had everything the world could offer, but still felt empty inside. Some of the most famous figures, despite their wealth, power, and influence, openly spoke about their struggles with dissatisfaction. Some turned to unhealthy coping mechanisms, trying to numb the emptiness they felt. Others spent their later years searching for something deeper, realizing too late that they had been chasing the wrong things all along. The human heart was not created to be satisfied by temporary things. It longs for something greater, something beyond this world. No amount of success, money, fame, or achievement can fill the deep void inside. People try to fill it with distractions, entertainment, and accomplishments, but in the quiet moments, when the noise fades, the emptiness remains. That longing for something more is not a mistake. It is a sign that there is something greater beyond what this world has to offer. True purpose and fulfillment come only through God. People spend their lives searching for meaning, chasing after things they believe will bring them happiness. Some look for purpose in their careers, striving to climb higher and achieve more. Others seek fulfillment in relationships, hoping that another person will complete them. Many turn to money, believing that financial security will finally bring peace. Some pursue pleasure, indulging in every desire, thinking that satisfaction lies in experiences and material things. But no matter how much they achieve, no matter how much they acquire, a deep emptiness remains inside. They reach what they thought would make them whole, only to find that it is not enough. From the beginning of time, humans have wrestled with the question of why they exist. Philosophers, scholars, and great thinkers have debated the meaning of life for centuries. Some conclude that life has no meaning beyond survival, that people are simply here by chance, living and then fading away. Others believe that purpose is something people must create for themselves, that each person must define their own meaning. Yet, no matter how many theories exist, the feeling of incompleteness remains. People who have everything the world says should bring happiness often admit that something is still missing. The reason for this is simple. Humans were not created to be fulfilled by temporary things. The soul longs for something greater, something eternal. No amount of success, wealth, pleasure, or human love can satisfy the deepest needs of the heart. The reason people feel empty, even when they have everything, is because they were created for a relationship with God. Only He can fill the void that nothing else can. He is the source of life, the giver of purpose, and the only one who can provide true and lasting fulfillment. Throughout history, people have tried to fill the emptiness with distractions. Some turn to work, pouring themselves into their jobs, hoping that achievements will bring them meaning. They spend years chasing promotions, building businesses, and accumulating accomplishments, thinking that one day they will reach a point where they finally feel satisfied. But no matter how much they achieve, there is always another goal to reach, another mountain to climb. The fulfillment they seek is always just beyond their grasp. Others turn to relationships, believing that love will complete them. They search for the perfect partner, hoping that another person will fill the void inside. But even the best relationships have their struggles, and no human being can meet the deepest needs of the soul. People put impossible expectations on others, thinking that if they just find the right person, they will finally be whole. But when that person fails to provide the fulfillment they long for, they are left feeling disappointed and empty. Many turn to pleasure, believing that if they can just experience enough joy, they will find meaning. They chase after entertainment, travel, food, and excitement, always looking for the next high. They indulge in every desire, thinking that pleasure will bring lasting happiness, but no matter how much they consume, the emptiness remains. The thrill of new experiences fades, and they are left searching for the next distraction. The more they chase pleasure, the more they realize that it never truly satisfies. Some believe that money is the answer. They work tirelessly to build wealth, thinking that financial success will bring peace and security. They tell themselves that once they have enough money, they will finally be happy. But how much is enough? The wealthiest people in the world continue to strive for more, proving that money does not bring the fulfillment they expected. Even those who can afford anything they desire often find themselves feeling lonely and dissatisfied. Wealth can provide comfort, but it cannot give true purpose. Fame and recognition are also illusions of fulfillment. Many people believe that if they can just be admired, respected, and known, they will feel complete. They chase after followers, applause, and validation from others, thinking that external approval will fill the void inside. But fame is fleeting, and the opinions of others are always changing. Even those who achieve worldwide recognition often struggle with deep insecurity and emptiness. The attention they once craved becomes a burden, and they realize that being known by the world does not mean they are truly understood or fulfilled. People search for purpose in all the wrong places because they do not realize that they were created for something more. The human heart was designed to be in relationship with God. He is the only one who can provide the peace, love, and meaning that people so desperately seek. Everything else is temporary, but He is eternal. Everything else fades, but He remains. People spend their lives trying to fill a void that only He can fill. When people try to live apart from God, they experience a constant sense of longing. No matter how much they achieve, they feel as if something is missing. They try to suppress the feeling, distract themselves, or convince themselves that they are content. But deep down, they know that there is something more. That longing is not a mistake. It is the soul's way of crying out for its Creator. It is a reminder that they were made for something greater than what this world has to offer. Some people avoid seeking God because they believe they must have everything figured out first. They think they must be perfect, have all the answers, or fix their lives before they can turn to Him. But that is not the truth. God does not ask people to be perfect before coming to Him. He simply asks them to come. He is not waiting for people to reach a certain level of success before they seek Him. He is waiting with open arms, ready to give them the purpose and fulfillment they have been searching for all along. Others reject God because they believe they do not need Him. They convince themselves that they are self-sufficient, that they can find meaning on their own. They push away the truth, hoping that if they ignore it long enough, it will go away. But no matter how much they try to fill their lives with other things, the emptiness remains. They can deny it, but they cannot escape it. The soul was created for God, and nothing else will ever be enough. Throughout history, those who have turned to God have found the peace and fulfillment that nothing else could provide. People who once lived in despair have found hope. Those who were lost have found direction. Those who felt empty have been filled. The search for meaning ends when people realize that they were made for a relationship with their Creator. No amount of success, wealth, fame, or pleasure can compare to the peace that comes from knowing God. He is the only one who can fill the deepest voids of the heart. The world offers many temporary solutions, but none of them last. People will always be searching, always be longing, until they find the one thing that truly satisfies, their purpose in Him. Life is short, and eternity is forever. Many people live as if this life is all there is, focusing only on their present experiences, ambitions, and desires. They chase after success, accumulate wealth, and seek pleasure, believing that their time on earth is what truly matters. They set goals, make plans, and work tirelessly to create a future that aligns with their dreams. But no matter how much they accomplish, time moves forward. Days turn into years, and before they realize it, life has passed them by. People often avoid thinking about the brevity of life because it is uncomfortable. They distract themselves with entertainment, work, and social interactions, trying to keep their minds occupied. They convince themselves that they have plenty of time, that they will think about deeper things later. But time does not wait. No matter how much people try to ignore it, the truth remains: life is temporary. Every person, no matter how strong, successful, or wealthy, will one day face the reality that their time on earth has come to an end. History is filled with stories of people who thought they had unlimited time, only to be caught off guard by the reality of life's brevity. Some spent their lives pursuing wealth, believing that money would give them security. They worked tirelessly, building fortunes, expanding businesses, and accumulating possessions, thinking that their riches would provide lasting happiness. But in the end, none of it mattered. They could not take their wealth with them, and all they had worked for was left behind. Others spent their lives chasing power and influence, believing that their legacy would grant them immortality. They sought recognition, authority, and status, thinking that if they were remembered, their lives would have meaning. But no matter how powerful they became, time moved forward and they too faded into history. People measure their lives by the years they live, but in the grand scheme of eternity, even the longest life is like a drop in the ocean. Some live to be 100 years old, while others pass away far sooner. Some are given opportunities to pursue their dreams, while others face hardships that cut their lives short. No one knows how much time they have, yet many live as if they are guaranteed a long life. They put off important decisions, assuming that they will have time later, but later is not promised. Each day is a gift, and no one is guaranteed another. Many people live as if this world is their permanent home, but deep down, they sense that there is something more. They feel a longing that cannot be satisfied by anything on earth. They try to fill the void with achievements, relationships, and material possessions, but nothing ever truly satisfies. That longing is not a mistake. It is the soul's way of recognizing that it was created for something beyond this world. The reason nothing on earth can provide lasting fulfillment is because people were not made for this temporary existence alone. They were created for eternity. Some people try to avoid thinking about what happens after this life. They focus on the present, telling themselves that as long as they are happy now, that is all that matters. But ignoring eternity does not change its reality. No matter how much people distract themselves, the truth remains. One day, this life will end, and what comes next will last forever. The choices made in this life determine the reality of eternity. Some believe that being a good person is enough, that if they live a moral life and treat others well, they will be fine. But true purpose and eternal security are not found in human efforts alone. They come from something greater. People chase after temporary things because they do not realize that they were made for something eternal. They pour their energy into careers, believing that success will give their lives meaning. They invest in relationships, hoping that love will complete them. They seek pleasure, thinking that happiness is the ultimate goal. But no matter how much they achieve, there is always something missing. They may experience moments of joy, but those moments fade, leaving them searching for more. The reason nothing on earth can fully satisfy is because people were not created for this world alone. The brevity of life should not be a source of fear, but a call to live with purpose. When people realize that their time on earth is limited, they begin to see what truly matters. They stop wasting time on things that do not last and start focusing on what has eternal significance. They recognize that success, wealth, and fame are temporary, but the impact they have on others and the choices they make about their spiritual lives have consequences that go beyond this world. Many people look back on their lives with regret, wishing they had spent their time differently. They regret the moments they wasted, the opportunities they ignored, and the people they hurt. They realize too late that they were chasing the wrong things. Some wish they had spent more time with their families rather than being consumed by work. Others regret not pursuing their true passions, allowing fear and doubt to hold them back. Many realize that they spent their lives accumulating things that no longer matter. The recognition of life's brevity often brings clarity about what is truly important. Some people reach the end of their lives and feel at peace, knowing that they lived with purpose. They may not have achieved great worldly success, but they invested in things that mattered. They loved deeply, served others, and lived in a way that reflected a greater purpose beyond themselves. They did not waste their time chasing things that fade, but instead focused on what lasts forever. These people understand that life is not about how much is accumulated, but about how much is given. Eternity is a reality that cannot be ignored. People spend years planning for retirement, ensuring that they have enough savings to live comfortably in their later years. They carefully prepare for a future that may last a few decades. But how many people prepare for eternity? If people are willing to invest so much time and effort into securing their temporary future, how much more should they consider their eternal future? Living with an eternal perspective changes everything. It shifts priorities, refocuses goals, and brings clarity to what truly matters. People who live with eternity in mind are not consumed by temporary worries. They do not spend their lives chasing things that will not last. They invest in relationships, seek to make a difference, and pursue a purpose beyond themselves. They understand that life is not just about the here and now, but about something far greater. The reality of eternity should not be ignored. It is easy to get caught up in daily routines, responsibilities, and distractions. But at the end of life, none of those things will matter. What will matter is whether people lived with purpose, whether they invested in things that last, and whether they prepared for what comes after. Those who recognize the brevity of life and the reality of eternity live differently. They do not take time for granted. They make intentional choices, knowing that each moment is an opportunity to impact something beyond themselves. Death is not the end. It is the beginning of eternity. Many people go through life without thinking about what happens after death. They live as if this world is all there is, focusing on their careers, relationships, and personal ambitions. They invest time and effort into building a future for themselves, securing financial stability and making plans for the years ahead. But no matter how much they prepare for life, few truly prepare for what comes after. The thought of death is uncomfortable for many. It is an unknown, something that cannot be controlled or avoided. People avoid conversations about it, pushing it out of their minds as if ignoring it will make it go away. They convince themselves that they have plenty of time, that they can think about these things later. But time does not wait, and death does not ask for permission. It comes for the young and the old, the rich and the poor, the strong and the weak. No one is exempt, and no one knows when their time will come. Throughout history, people have sought to understand what happens after death. Different cultures and religions have developed beliefs about the afterlife, some speaking of reincarnation, others of a final judgment, and still others of an eternal paradise or torment. But no matter what people believe, the reality remains: death is not the end. The human soul is eternal. The body may decay, but the soul continues beyond this life. This truth is written on the hearts of people, and deep down, many sense that there is something more beyond what they can see. Some people believe that when they die, their existence will simply cease. They think that they will fade into nothingness, that their consciousness will be erased as if they never existed. But the longing for eternity is built into human nature. People strive to leave a legacy, to make an impact that lasts beyond their lifetime. They fear being forgotten because they know deep down that life does not truly end with death. The desire for something beyond this world is a reflection of a deeper reality. Eternity exists, and every person will step into it when their time on earth is over. Others believe that being a good person is enough to secure a favorable eternity. They think that if they live morally, treat others with kindness, and avoid wrongdoing, they will earn a place in a better afterlife. They measure their worth by their actions, hoping that their good deeds outweigh their mistakes. But eternity is not something that can be earned by human effort alone. No one is perfect. Everyone has fallen short at some point, made mistakes, and failed to live up to the highest standards. The question is not whether someone is good compared to others, but whether they are prepared for what lies beyond this life. People spend years preparing for temporary events. They plan for retirement, ensuring that they have enough savings to live comfortably. They prepare for major life milestones, marriage, parenthood, careers, putting effort into making their futures secure. But how many people prepare for eternity? If this life is brief and eternity is forever, then preparing for what happens after death is the most important decision anyone can make. Yet many put it off, thinking they have time, only to be caught off guard when life comes to an end. Some live as if they are invincible, believing that death is far off in the future. They take risks, engage in reckless behavior, and assume that they will have time to think about deeper things later. But death is not predictable. It does not follow a schedule or wait until a person is ready. It comes suddenly, often without warning. Stories of unexpected loss remind people of this reality every day. Young, healthy individuals pass away without any sign that their time was near. Accidents happen, illnesses strike, and lives are cut short in an instant. The truth is, no one knows when their time will come. That is why preparing for eternity should not be delayed. People often live as if the things of this world are the most important. They chase after wealth, believing that financial security will bring them peace. They seek fame and recognition, thinking that being known and admired will give their lives meaning. They pursue pleasure, indulging in every desire, hoping to find happiness. But no matter how much they achieve, none of it lasts. Money cannot buy more time. Fame does not prevent death. Pleasure is fleeting. The things of this world are temporary, but the soul is eternal. Throughout history, there have been those who recognized that life is more than what is seen. They lived with an awareness of eternity, making choices that reflected their belief that this world is not their final home. They did not waste time on meaningless pursuits, but instead invested in things that had lasting significance. They understood that every moment was an opportunity to prepare for what was to come. Many people fear death because they do not know what awaits them. They push the thought away, distracting themselves with the busyness of life. But ignoring the reality of eternity does not change it. Every person will face it, regardless of whether they believe in it or not. The question is not whether eternity exists, but whether people are ready for it. Some argue that focusing on eternity takes away from living in the present. They believe that thinking about what happens after death prevents people from enjoying life. But the opposite is true. Those who understand eternity live with a greater sense of purpose. They do not waste time on things that do not matter. They prioritize relationships, seek to make a difference, and live with a clarity that others do not have. They understand that their choices have consequences beyond this life, and that awareness shapes the way they live. People often search for meaning in temporary things because they do not realize that they were created for something eternal. They seek validation, approval, and success, hoping to feel complete. But no matter how much they accomplish, there is always a lingering emptiness. That emptiness is a reminder that they were not made for this world alone. The human soul longs for something beyond what can be seen because it was created for eternity. Some people believe that they can wait until the end of their lives to think about eternity. They assume that they will have time to make things right, that they can enjoy life now and prepare for the afterlife later. But no one is promised a tomorrow. Waiting until the last moment is a dangerous gamble. Many who planned to make a decision later never got the chance. The truth is that eternity is not something to be ignored. It is the most important reality that every person will face. Living with an awareness of it changes everything. It shifts priorities, brings clarity, and gives life deeper meaning. Those who understand that death is not the end, but the beginning of forever, do not live carelessly. They make intentional choices, knowing that their time on earth is a preparation for what is to come. The temporary things of this world will one day pass away. but eternity remains. Every person has the opportunity to decide how they will spend it. Some will choose to seek truth, to prepare for what lies beyond, and to live with an awareness of what truly matters. Others will ignore it, focusing only on the here and now, believing that they have time. But time is not in anyone's control. Every heartbeat is a reminder that life is fleeting, and that one day every person will step into eternity.